Hi, I'm Shana and welcome to another Single Over 30 vlog. Every time the calendar turns a new page, I'm so excited about the blessings that are ahead, the new year that's coming, and all the challenges I want to take on to become more of who God created me to be. So as this calendar rolls over, I want to issue you a challenge that if you do it, will encourage and equip you in your single life, guaranteed. Since I started Single Over 30, it's really struck me how many absolute statements that are based on assumptions people make that simply aren't true. And I did it when I was single without even realizing that I was doing it. For example, I made the assumption, I believed really, that a man who had been married before, whether his wife had passed away or he'd experienced a divorce, that he could never love me the way that he loved his wife. That I was going to be loved less than, and who really wants to sign up for that, right? Well, I married a guy who was married longer than I was a single adult, and I haven't found my assumption to be true at all. I mean, I feel cherished and adored even. So we have to remember that all relationships don't happen the same way, and that all people aren't the same, and that people respond to life differently. So we can make these assumptions to encourage ourselves or to relieve ourselves from guilt or to protect our hearts from pain or disappointment. I mean, we can make them out of fear because we're afraid of settling or not getting what we really long for. But I want to encourage you to stay away from these absolute statements that are based on assumptions. So I recently saw one on Pinterest, and here's what it said. It said, appreciate being single because it's the time that you grow the most. And with that growth, you come to know what you're looking for. Okay, so I appreciate this sentiment, but it's not true. It's not true that singleness is the time that everyone always grows the most. I mean, the time that you grow the most isn't when you're married or when you're single or when you stay close to your family or you move to a foreign country. This is an absolute statement that's not based on fact. It's not something that we can say is absolutely true. And this statement also kind of gives relationships a bad rap. I mean, who wants to get married if you're going to stop growing, right? So here's the thing, is that wherever you are, God wants to help you grow. End of story. Whether you're single or you're married, and different stages of life call for different kinds of growth. Or how about this absolute statement? All women who are over 30 and have never been married, well, there's something wrong with them. Or all men who are over 40 and have never been married, well, they're never getting married. They're just players. Or maybe people who are older and have never been married, well, they're just the most difficult to love because, you know, they're just too set in their ways. I read that one somewhere too. That's not absolutely true. Or maybe men who have already been married are blank. I mean, you fill in the blank. Or women are only after one thing. Or women are only blank. It could be any number of things. We make assumptions about ourselves, about the opposite sex, about the outcome of a relationship, or any number of things. These assumptions, I want to encourage you, they rarely serve us well to move us down the road to getting the love that we long for, if that's your goal. These assumptions can be based on things we heard from a parent while we were growing up, something that we picked up in our culture without even realizing it, that we saw on TV or heard in a song, or maybe we make an assumption because we had a particular experience that hurt us. So I want to encourage you to stay away from making these absolute statements that aren't true, because you never know what your assumptions could be causing you to miss, what blessing you could miss. So I want to challenge you in this new year to note the assumptions that you think, speak, hear, or read online. Maybe it's something that you even hear from someone else. And I want you to note them. So I've created a freebie, a download for you that has a bunch of assumptions listed. And then I want to invite you to write down your own. And then as you write down each one, I want to encourage you to notate what you think might be motivating it. Is it fear or pride or something else? And then ask yourself if it could be standing in the way of you being more open. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen to you and for you in the new year and how you're going to be blessed. And don't forget that you rock, you really do, and I'll see you next week.